Hi, this is Mike, and welcome back to Peak Performance Zone, continuing with our cognitive distortions. We've done about 9 or 10 already, and there are many. There's about 20 or 25, and we're not going to go through all of them. I just want you to give you a sampling of some of the ones that really are the most powerful and the most common. And today we're going to talk about blaming. We tend to blame other people or situations for what happens to us. But let me start off with asking you a question. Who's responsible for how you feel? Who's responsible for how you act and behave? If you answered anything other than yourself, that's incorrect. But we tend to do that. We tend to blame others for our own thoughts, feelings, and behaviors. At the end of the day, whose behavior can you control? Can you really control someone else's? Now, sometimes you can threaten people if you're in a position of power. You can control people to a certain extent. But for the most part, we're responsible for our own behavior. And we do this all the time. We tend to blame other people. You made me feel bad. Well, how exactly did they do that? Well, that you said something that was nasty. But how we respond, whether we accept that or not, is what makes us feel upset. And it's not what somebody else says, right? If somebody gives you a gift and you don't accept it, who does that gift belong to? It belongs to them. If you don't accept it, it doesn't belong to you. You don't have to accept what other people say. And yet we're constantly, you made me feel that way. You did that to me. It's your fault. And really that disempowers us. It gives power over to somebody else. It's basically saying, you have the power to control me. You have the power to make me feel a certain way or to act a certain way. There's a training that I had where there was this professor, Professor Lester, and he related a story that he learned when he was in school. And his professor said, you know, when you're dealing with people, here's what you have to realize. A lot of people are like the farmer, right? The farmer has a shovel and he walks out into his field and he walks up to a pile of manure. And he sticks the shovel in the manure, throws the manure up in the air, and then runs underneath. And from their perspective, it's falling from the sky. And if you try to tell them they're the ones that are holding the shovel, well, they'll just think you're being mighty rude. And of course, what he meant by that story is we're responsible for a lot of the garbage and crap that happens to us. We're the farmers. We're the ones going and throwing it up in the air, and then we run underneath it. And then we claim, oh, I'm a victim, poor me, it's falling from the sky. And we refuse to accept we're the ones that were holding the shovel. We're the ones that threw it up in the air and ran underneath. It's not somebody else. And taking responsibility is a very difficult thing to do. It's very hard, it's very challenging, it's very upsetting to know that ultimately you're really responsible for how you respond. But it's just so natural and so comfortable for us to blame other people. We do it as kids, right? You're learning how to ride a bike and your father or mother is running behind you and then they let go and maybe you stop pedaling and you fall. And who do you blame? Your parents, right? You blame your father or your mom. We love blaming other people for things that happen to us, but we need to take more responsibility. It is disempowering to blame other people for how we think and feel. Once we accept we're in control, what's great about that is we can then make those decisions. If I'm in control of how I think and feel, then I can change how I think and feel. And that gives the power back to you. So it's very important. Let's try to cut down on blaming other people, take responsibility, and then we are in a position to make the changes that are necessary to make our lives better. And if you like this video, please hit like. If you have a comment, please comment. If you have any questions, I respond to all questions. And if you'd like to have some personal private coaching, please let me know that as well. All right, see you next time.